players around the world. I'm Steve Klusner and welcome to bass lesson number 15, which is all about the blues. If you're a beginner bassist, there's no better way to develop your playing skills than by learning how to play the blues. When you learn how to play the blues, you'll develop your feel, you'll develop a good sense of timing, and you'll learn how to navigate the neck. Now let's take a look at what we'll be playing today. We're going to play a 1-4-5 12-bar blues, quick 4 in G major and 12/8 time. So let me break down what that means. For starters, we'll be playing G major. Here's your G major scale: G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. We're going to play a 1-4-5. Here's your 1, here's your 4, and here's your 5. So that's G major, C major, D major. Those are the chords. We'll throw a G7 chord in there to make it a little bit more musical. We'll get to that in a bit. We're going to be playing a 12-bar blues. So here are your 12 bars. Very standard stuff. When you get done with the 12 bars, it just repeats. Alright? We're going to be playing a quick 4. And what that means is when we get to the second measure, we're going to go to the 4 chord. So if you find yourself in a blues jam and they say quick 4, what that means is when you get to the second measure, you're playing the 4 chord. In our case, we're playing in G major, so that's going to be the C major is going to be your 4 chord. We're going to be playing in 12/8 time. 12/8 time gives the music a different feel rather than playing in 4/4. Okay, so 12/8 time is counted 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And if you listen to the hi-hat while we're playing, you'll hear the hi-hat playing 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. But we're still going to feel the 4. Okay, let's get right to it right now. Alright, now what I want to do today is I want to give you some bass lines to develop your vocabulary, and we're going to start simple. What we're going to do is we're going to start with a basic major triad pattern. Okay, we've gone over this before. Here's your major triad pattern. It's very important to recognize patterns. So when we're on the 1 chord, we're going to play G, B, and D. And then when we get to the 4 chord, the C, we're going to move that over. Now we're playing C, E, G. And when we get to the 5 chord, the D major, D, F sharp, A. Okay? And we're going to play it like this and count it as well like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So I'm going to let you hear what that sounds like right now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And when we get to the C, we're just going to play the same pattern over the C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. When we get to the 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So we'll do a play along right now, and we'll play all 12 bars together. For this next line, we're going to count it the same, but we're going to use a different pattern, okay? So that's the pattern that we're going to be playing. And we're going to count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then again we'll move it over to the C and then over to the D. So if I play that for you, it's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's do the play along for that. We'll play all 12 bars. Alright, so for this next bass line, we're going to use the same pattern, but we're going to change the order of the notes a little bit, and we're going to count it a little bit differently. So we're going to play it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and And then again, we're going to move it over to the C and again over to the D. Alright? So now that is going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now let's do the play along. And now for this next line, I'm going to count it the same, but we're going to use a different pattern. Okay, so this is the pattern we're going to use. And we're going to count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And when we go to the 4 chord, we're going to use these open notes over here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And when we go to the 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so that's going to sound like this. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now let's do the play along. first 4 bass lines I gave you, you can interchange while you're playing the 12-bar blues to make it more interesting. But I also want to show you how we can walk up to a chord or down to a chord. And as an example, we're going to pick it up from the 3rd measure right here, the G, then the G7, and then the C. I'm just going to grab my acoustic guitar real quick to give you an idea of what that sounds like. So it sounds like this. So when we play that G7, that gives us an opportunity to use that F right there. And if you watched my video on playing chords on the bass, the G7 is G, B, and F, all right? So I'm going to let you hear how that sounds. I'm going to pick it up from measure 3, and then you'll hear me walk down when I get to this G7. So it sounds like this. So that little walk down I'm going is G, G, F, F, E, E, D, C sharp, C. So I'll play it for you one more time. And when I play the whole thing for you in its entirety, you'll hear me do that a lot. Okay, now I want to show you how we can walk up to the next chord. And as an example, we're going to take it from measure 6, which is the C, and we're going to walk up to the G, measure 7. So C here, walking up to the G. And what we're going to play is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. We'll walk right up here using the E, the F, and the F sharp to the G. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. You could also play it down over here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. All right, so let me let you hear what that sounds like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. Now I'll play it down over here. C using the E, F, F sharp, G over here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. Now, going to measure 11 and 12, we could do the same thing. On measure 11 over here, when we're on the G, we can walk up to the D using the same pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. Use the C sharp right here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let you hear me playing the 12-bar blues. I'll cycle it twice so you could hear me use these different lines that I just showed you. So give it a listen, see if you can pick out the lines that I just showed you, and then you'll get a chance to do it as well. Now in that blues I just played, I incorporated all the bass lines I showed you in today's lesson. At the end of this video there will be a link that you could click on. I'll also put the link below in the description box, and that will take you to this blues and you can come up with your own bass lines. Now remember, the blues isn't just about playing notes. It's about having a musical conversation. Right? So if you play the blues in a band, you want to listen to the musicians around you. You want to hear what's going on, and there's going to be peaks and valleys, and you want to explore those peaks and valleys. If you listen, when I was on the 12th measure going back to the 1, it built up, there was a climax. Everything built up, there was a climax, and then we pulled it back. And that's important because that's what makes the blues interesting. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and if you'd like private lessons with me via Zoom, just visit stevekonbass.com and send me an email. My contact info is up there. Until then, I hope you enjoy exploring the blues. I hope you listen to some old blues standards. I think that'll help you out. And keep rocking. I'll catch you next time. See you.